Hey there, Segudo golfers. Tom Segudo here, PGA member and founder of Segudo Golf, and happy Monday. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the swing move that Jon Rahm makes. That is the reason he's one of the best players in the world, and also the reason why at the Memorial Tournament yesterday, he was able to win in very difficult playing conditions. And this move can also help you improve your game. So we're going to start off with a brief analysis and then go into a lesson at the end. So stay tuned throughout the entire episode. We're going to cover this, and you're going to be learning how to mash the ball consistently and powerfully, just like Jon Rahm. You can use this move, and it's awesome for your game. Let's get started. I've queued up Rahm's swing here, and you notice I've circled an area at the top of his backswing that's really important. We're going to be talking about this area right here. That's the trail arm and the connection against the side and why it's so important to have in your golf swing. This is why he's extremely consistent. You'd hear me talk about connection all the time between the upper arms and the side. It's really important that you have that because it allows the club to travel on the same path every single time. That's a consistency element. If you want the same swing and the same results, you got to have these arms connected to your side as a good starting checkpoint. And that's something he's always had throughout the swing. This trail arm connection is extremely important because when you get to the top of the backswing, it needs to be able to fold. No matter what you do in the first part, if this trail arm is allowed to fold to 90 degrees or so, you're storing up power in a lever-like system. That arm should at least get to 90 degrees and be connected against your side. And if it's connected, you can use the stored power. And that's why I talk about it so much. If it stays connected, when you get into impact, that connected lever power source explodes or straightens through the golf ball. So here it is connected. It's still like 90 degrees, even well into his downswing. It's a stored power source. And then watch this. Boom, it extends at impact and extends through the ball straight. That's something you can use in your game to mash the crap out of the ball and hit it with the wrath of God. This is one of the keys that is lacking in a lot of amateur players' games. Some people get disconnected, get the flyaway chicken wing, or they just early extend into casting. But the key to being powerful and compressing the golf ball is to maintain that trail arm connection against your side. It's a must if you want to be consistent and powerful, which we all do. We all do. Let's get started with key number one. I talk about this a lot, but the trail arm connection and the way the trail arm works in the golf swing. The trail arm is a huge power source, so we must connect the upper arms to your side, gorilla glue them to your side, and the function of the arm is this. It needs to be allowed to fold to the top. So it should still be glued to your side at the top of your backswing, and on the way through, it should still be glued to your side, and then at impact, it will begin to extend and stay straight through impact. And that's that power move, storing up the energy here, holding that angle, storing the energy in that forearm just before impact, and then having it extend to impact and straight arms on the way through. Big power and consistency move for you there. So having the connection of the upper arms maintained really aggressively to your side, tightly bound to your side, will enable this forearm to fold the way it should. The next big move that he makes that really allows him to be consistent is this. In the downswing, the club, instead of moving directly to the golf ball immediately, watch the path of the hands. The hands are key. A lot of people think they need to get back to the ball really quickly. But no, we've got to delay the hit. You've got to wait for the club to get in position to hit the ball. And some players do this by dropping the club, which I'm not a fan of, and others do this using the body, which I am a fan of. It's very consistent. Whatever you do, the club has to get back on the shaft plane here in the downswing. And so you're going to see Rahm shallow the club. Watch the hands from the top. This is what makes him a really consistent ball striker. And it's one of the key moves that almost every tour player makes. The club goes down first. The hands in the club actually drop first. So we're tracking the path of the hands. Boop. Right on the middle of his glove hand. Look at that. It's moving more down than it is to the ball. And then once he's got it Now, once he's got it set, it starts to move more and more to the ball. This is the path of the hands. The club mirrors that path. So if I was to draw lines on the club, here we go, club face or shaft area, following the heel of that driver down to the first part of the swing. The club is just mirroring it. It's not doing anything excessive. This is where amateurs get in trouble. They try and do too much from the start of the downswing. The start of the downswing there's really not a lot going on. The club is falling. The weight of the club is allowed to fall. Lower body's initiating. That's how it all comes together. There's not a lot of work going on here. Where the amateurs get in trouble is they want to hit from the top. You want to hit, 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 and that causes the club to go over, down, and all of your power gets thrown away. So once we get to this point, you're going to see him start to see the club and the hands go toward the ball, and that's where that power move kicks in, that forearm extending and like punching through a wall. So here we go. Tracking down that shaft plane. So everything's going toward the ball. All your power is getting directed to the ball. This is one of the biggest keys for consistency. I'm going to use different colors here. We're going to track the path of the hands to the ball. So I've got that same the hands and then the club. And we'll use orange. Yeah. Now everything starts working too. You got to deliver the package to the ball. Powerful. Into impact right there. Boom. And then at impact, club face is square, and he's ready to continue pushing that trail arm straight through, punching through the wall, which is supplying a ton of power at impact. Imagine the power you have when you hit a hammer into a nail. It's a lot of power. You've got a lot with that trail arm. Rahm consistency key number 2, setting the downswing properly every single time. In the downswing, the club needs to rejoin the shaft plane for consistent strikes. That's the most direct route to the golf ball. The club coming through the lower part of your back into the ball. And we accomplish this by delaying the hit in the downswing, resisting the urge to hit from the top, trying to hit the golf ball from the top. You just saw the proper motion is that the hands and the club both move downward initially, and then they go to the ball. This motion can happen one of two ways. It can happen by you physically dropping it or pulling it down, which some pros have described they do that. Or you can do it the way I recommend, which is allow the body to do it naturally. You've got to start the downswing by moving the hip, the lead hip, toward the target. That automatically presets the club falling. Very simple way to get your downswing started. And yes, that does just happen if the hips are allowed to move forward starting downswing. The downswing is truly from the ground up. So starting with the ground, hips moving toward the target, brings the club into this beautiful downswing position. I'm not doing anything with the hands. The club is just working that way because my body is starting that chain reaction with this lead hip. And then my third favorite part of his swing. The trail arm keeps extending and the club face stays square, really long. This is another big key because club face rotation through impact, releasing the hands hard, makes the club face rotate a lot. The club face is the start direction of the golf ball. So if you're rotating that club face, your start direction is going to be all over the place. We're talking about wide dispersion here. Right fairway, right bunker, left bunker, sometimes the middle, we're not really sure. If you keep the club face square like Jon Rahm is through impact, and I'm tracking the club face we'll use some more arrows here. We'll use green. Look at this, square at impact, still nearly the same amount of square through the ball. If you can do that, you will hit your target almost every single time, or you have a really good idea of where that club face is. And that's the main thing we try and do in the golf swing, is keep that club face square through impact to be really accurate. We're not talking about rolling the hands over and throwing away your accuracy. It's only after impact, 3 feet after the ball, you start to see the club face turn over a little bit. And that's natural. The weight of the club's following through. Your hands start to turn over. And at this point, it doesn't really matter because you've hit the golf ball. You do whatever you want to the finish here. This is why Rahmbo is so powerful and consistent. These are the 3 moves we can do. With these 3 keys in mind, grab a club, go into your backyard, get ready to make some swings because we're going to do a little lesson right now. So stay tuned. Tip number 3, the consistency key for being accurate all day long. Keep the club face quiet on the way through impact. Resist the urge to roll the hands hard or turn the hands over aggressively. Keep the hands quiet through at least a couple feet through impact, and this club face will be squarer longer, meaning straighter shots for you all day long. The way you do that is feel like you're holding the club face off. Whatever you need to feel, look at your club face, and if you're one of those people that likes to dive it over like this, looking like something like this, if you're one of those people that relies on hand-eye coordination all day long, and you know why you're always inconsistent, it's because you're always rotating this club face. We're never sure where that ball is going to go. Keep the hands quiet, train yourself, square, square the whole way through. And that takes some time, but a lot of times it feels like you're not doing anything at all with the hands except holding the club face off through impact. Keep the club face extremely quiet. A great way to check is on the way through. See if that club face is not toe up, it's more club face pointing toward the sky. This will encourage you to keep the hands quiet. Club face pointing toward the sky, not turning over. You'll be more consistent. Start direction will always be the same doing this. This, if you turn them too hard, could be a variable for you. Something to pay attention to, especially if you're lacking consistency. So keep the hands quiet on the way through. Check out the finish. You can force that finish. Tell yourself, I'm going to start the ball at that target. The club face is going to be quiet. It's a great way to keep a really tight shot pattern. So Segudo golfers, there you have it. 3 awesome golf swing keys. And it's the reason Jon Rahm is one of the best players in the world. You can be a really awesome ball striker just like him by implementing these 3 keys. And if you enjoyed the content of this episode, please subscribe. On this channel at Segudo Golf, my goal is to turn you into the best ball striker that you've ever been in your life. I'm going to get you there in a body-friendly and simplified manner. That's what's going on in this channel. So subscribe, hit that button, stay tuned for updates, and you'll be hitting it crispier than KFC all day long. And lastly, if you're looking for a really simplified way to play your best golf right now, check out my website, segudo.golf, where I'll take you through from foundation to finish and all walks of your golf game, chipping, short game putting, bunker play, and more in simple 3 to 5 minute videos showing you exactly how to make the right motions in your golf swing to play simple, consistent, effortless, fun golf the rest of your life. I'll look forward to seeing you in class. Thanks again for tuning in, and see you in the next episode.